Well, for the entirety of the January transfer window, the only positive news that Arsenal got from there was them agreeing personal terms with Martin Zubimendi, but they couldn't obviously bring him into the squad of Arsenal in the January transfer window, not until to wait until the summer of this year. And we all know to it that however much they've gone ahead obviously agree personal terms, it does not really stop any other teams from obviously hijacking this deal. And guess what? There is a team that is into the hijack of Martin Zubimendi from joining the club of Arsenal. Smash the like button, comment and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokani David is here to bring you the latest news and information as far as the thing is concerned. And we're here to also talk about Liverpool being defeated by the side of is it Plymouth, you understand? And then the manager has come out and obviously said a lot about it. And Federico Chiesa having gone ahead of make his first debut, I think full debut for the club of Liverpool, and how everything went down. Remember, we are powered by Mono Gadgets, who are really dealers in affordable smartwatches, and those affordable smartwatches are really available in all colors that you want. So if at all you feel like you need any affordable smartwatch, call them on +256 70 99 88 665. I repeat the number, +256 70 9988 and you'll thank me later. They also have brand new phones and brand new laptops. They also have used phones and used laptops from the United Kingdom. But most favorably, go ahead and obviously get yourself that smartwatch. We all know that Zubimendi went ahead to agree personal terms with the side of Barcelona, so with the side of Arsenal, and we all anticipate that he's going to be a Gunner next season. But guess what? There is a close source from Real Madrid that has gone ahead to obviously come out and tell us that discussions regarding Martin Zubimendi are increasing at Real Madrid. The player is on the club's ladder. Now, Arsenal is a step further than Martin Zubimendi, but they don't have a pre-contract. They've gone ahead to sign together, meaning that Arsenal is having guarantee that is not written, because if it was written then would have gone ahead to not it that he's tied to joining Arsenal. But Martin Zubimendi doesn't have a contract with Arsenal, but they have what we call a memorandum, like a gentleman's agreement that was put in place, and Martin Zubimendi has agreed to obviously come and join Arsenal in the summer. Now Real Madrid is like, all right, Martin Zubimendi was a Spanish player, and we in Madrid want you to stay in Spain, and we also know to it that Spain is where you want obviously play most of your football. Why do you go to Arsenal? Why do you go to the Premier League? You know, we are here to present you an opportunity to come here and really play into our team. And why is Real Madrid dying to obviously bring in a player of a caliber? Why is Real Madrid struggling to bring in a player of the caliber of Martin Zubimendi? They are really doing that because they know to it that Martin Zubimendi is one of those players that has gone ahead obviously put in a very good shift into that Real Sociedad side, and he's really a complete CDM that you can rely on anytime, you know, because of his qualities of really holding the ball. Madrid is really having problems in the midfield because Tchouaméni has not been that commanding all that integral force into that midfield of Real Madrid, and them having shortage in the defenders because of the injuries they're really having has also gone ahead to contribute hugely onto what we are really seeing right now at the club of Real Madrid, because most times this season he has been played as a central defender than in the central midfield, and the club itself is really lacking central midfielders, if I might come here and really tell you this. So Zubimendi is one of those that Madrid is looking at, and he has a release clause of 60 million euros, and Arsenal was willing to trigger it. Something that I've gone ahead obviously understand that maybe Arsenal went ahead to obviously get out this news to a credible source like David O'Shea to obviously show to it as that they are really willing to sign players. And Remember when that story came in through? It was, I think, mid-January, when fans of Arsenal were like, please get in a player, and they're like, let's throw in this story. And it went ahead to calm down Arsenal fans, because they were told that Arsenal was willing to trigger the release clause of Martin Zubimendi during the January transfer window, but Real Sociedad didn't really want it, and they're like, we can only let this player go during the summer, so that was really a spin that Arsenal went ahead to make to keep their fans there. And the big question is, do you think amongst all signings that Arsenal did in the January transfer window, a CDM was really very important? Because as we speak, Arsenal has 3 CDMs in Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, and Jorginho. You understand? So as it stands, I tell you, we wait to see whether this deal will obviously come to pass. Because if Real Madrid knew to it that the player had chosen Arsenal over any other team, why would they obviously come in and obviously try to compete for this player? Meaning that they've spoken to the agent and the player is open to go to any side, because he's like, I might obviously come in here and put in a lot for the club of Arsenal, and they let me down. So the player is keeping his options open. And the moment a player keeps his options open, that means that the player is not 100% convinced that Arsenal will obviously come for him, however much personal terms have gone ahead to be agreed. So I'm waiting to see how Real Madrid are going to continue to do this. And you know how Madrid is one of those clubs that when they come in to obviously knock at a player's door, few players will say no. Most of the players will give in their solid yes to this deal of Zubimendi. So thank you very much for watching through. Rokani David is my name. And the other factor that is going to be key into this deal is, what contract is Arsenal or Real Madrid going to be giving Martin Zubimendi? If they are going to come up and obviously give him a huge salary, then he might obviously say to Arsenal, please, unless you match the deal of Real Madrid, we are not obviously going to coming in through. So I think the highest bidder, in as far as the salary is going to be concerned, will obviously take the player, because we don't have, no club has any say to compete when it comes to money, because the money is really already set. It's a constant, and it's 60 million euros. If you pay it Real Sociedad and you agree personal terms with the player, that's where the player is going to be playing next season, I tell you. So Arsenal might also be being tricked by the agent, because these agents will obviously try to put out stories in the media to send a message to a team like Arsenal that if you don't act early at the beginning of the summer, then the player won't obviously be yours. It's like they're calling in for money to come in through or to go in, and see to it they're obviously getting Martin Zubimendi. You understand? Because you never know how the market goes. What if Martin Zubimendi gets injured in the due course of the season, and he's not available, for Arsenal? And Arsenal will be like, why should we obviously pay money for a player who hasn't gone ahead, obviously, complete his season fit? So, however much his injury record is really very good, I tell you, they cannot risk that way. So, we are waiting to see how things pan out for Martin Zubimendi, but he's one of those players that has gone ahead, obviously, make huge rounds into the news. And very many teams want the player. We also remember that in the summer, Liverpool went in for Martin Zubimendi. They wanted to sign the player. The player said no. You understand? He turned the offer and he was like, I'm not willing to leave my team of Real Sociedad to obviously go out and find himself playing at a side called Liverpool. Now, Arsenal look like they've gone to convince the player, and the player is willing to obviously make a very huge move. Now, yesterday, Liverpool was beaten by Plymouth Argyle by 1-0. It was scored as a penalty in the 53rd minute, and Liverpool got themselves knocked out. Now, when you look at Liverpool, they really had Kaleha in goal, Cornell right back, Simiskas left back, Gomez and Kwansh in the central defense, Endo, Nyoni, Elliott, and then Federico Chiesa, Jota, and Diaz went ahead to lead the line of Liverpool. But by the time the referee put the whistle onto his mouth, Liverpool had been knocked out. Now, what does the manager of Liverpool have to say about this loss? And that is Arne. He said, let's be realistic about this. So he went ahead to say, great game from Plymouth, good game plan, and they deserve all the credit. We are not having a very good day. A result like this is the outcome. I can't say the boys didn't fight, but teams barely created a chance, and then it was a penalty. Then he said, in a game like this, it's up to one moment. That moment was for them, and they deserve it. I think they were able to do better, but it's a system and a way of playing which is hard to create against. I wasn't surprised when we had the ball. They were really, really aggressive. Then he concluded by saying that not easy to create, especially if a team has not played together all the time. It hurts everyone. We were all waiting. We were all wanting to be in this competition for as long as possible. They kept on fighting until the last second. It wasn't a work rate problem, but they couldn't find chances. That's what the manager really had to say about the side of Liverpool. So Liverpool are out of the FA Cup, and we are waiting to see how this FA Cup will obviously proceed. But later, he went ahead to bring on Darwin Núñez and Trent Doherty, by the likes of Salah, Virgil van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, Gravenberch, and very many others. You know, all the stars of Liverpool were rested, and the manager had shown them that the focus is so much onto the game of football. They're obviously going to be playing, and when are they going to be playing it? It's midweek. That is on Wednesday against a team known as Everton. So those players have gone ahead to rest, and they are ready for the game of, because he knows to it that all he needs to win is the Premier League. That's what he needs to win. So Ange Postecoglou on Liverpool losing to Plymouth, they said, how did Liverpool go today? They just did that for one game. Do that for 2.5 months. Any team, do that for 2.5 months in multiple competitions. That is what Ange Postecoglou had to say about this loss. But shockingly, people have been really calling out Ange for not really giving this man minutes. That is Federico Chiesa, the Italian. They got in, I think, for 15 million euros from Juventus. That is Federico Chiesa. And guess what? He had a very disappointing game yesterday. 1 out of 10 successful dribbles, 1 out of 4 accurate passes, 1 out of 17 duels won, 66 passing accuracy, 66% pass accuracy, and 29 times he lost possession. He had a very bad day in office. But when you look at the number of times he really spent without kicking the ball, you don't blame him. But on the other side, you are like, you are playing Plymouth. That is it. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Rokani David remains my name. Your reactions to Zubimendi transfer hijack anticipated are welcome in the comment section below. And what are your thoughts of Liverpool being knocked out of the FA Cup? Rokani David is here. He's out, returning in the next 2 hours. Bye-bye.